This LeetCode question is Binary Tree Preorder Traversal. It's LeetCode question 144. It's also one of the Google interview questions. It's very similar to the previous one that we did just yesterday. So here we have the roots of a binary tree, and we have to return the preorder traversal of the node's values. But we have to do so through a vector. Basically, we have to traverse the tree using the preorder traversal algorithm, but instead of simply visiting and printing the values, we have to store them in a vector in the correct order, that is the preorder sequence, and then we have to return that vector. So these are examples, again, very similar to the in-order traversal question that we had yesterday. So we have the same structure for a tree. It has a value, left and right child, and we can assign values to those through these constructors. At first, I want to add my vector to my solution class. So I have this private access modifier, and I'm creating a vector of integers called values. Now I need to allocate some memory space to my vector, and I'm using the reserve function because I want to specify the minimum capacity for my vector. Otherwise, I'm going to have a lot of reallocation whenever I'm pushing new values to the vector. Now here I have a condition for my function. It's going to be a recursive function, and I will need to check all the time if my current node is a valid node. So here I have if roots is valid, meaning it is not null, then I want to store the current value inside of my values vector. So I'm having values.emplaceback, and I add the value of my node to the vector, which is this one here. Before I proceed, you might wonder why I have 100 here. It's because of the constraints where they say that the number of nodes in the binary tree is up to 100. So now continuing with the algorithm, we need to visit the left after we add the value to the vector. But we can only do so if the left is not null. So first I'm checking here if the left child of the current node is not null, then I want to call this function, this preorder traversal function, but this time around I'm going to pass the left child to the function. So this here is recursion, then I need to visit the right, and I do the same thing here. If the right child is not null, then I'm going to visit it, and when I visit it, I'm going to enter this logic again, where I'm going to push that value to my vector and continue with the traversal. And then when I'm done, I have to return my vector. So remember that with a preorder traversal, the order is roots, lefts, and then rights. But that's about it for the solution. So let's run this code, and we've passed everything for the sample test cases. So we had case 1 and 2 and then 3. So 2 was empty. And we still passed it because at every function call in our logic, in the function definition, we always check if root is not null. So if it's null, then we can return values, which is empty. So now let's submit this solution, and we've passed everything with decent speed. You can see that in my previous submissions, sometimes it was 0 milliseconds, but it's pretty good speaking of performance. So that's it for this LeetCode question. It was called Binary Tree Preorder Traversal, and it's a Google interview question that you can practice if you have an interview coming up. But for now, that's it for me. If you like my solution and you like my tutorials, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you next time.